10 real Japan experiences that will change how you see it. I want you to close your eyes for a second and picture Japan. You're seeing Tokyo neon lights, aren't you? Sushi conveyor belts, crowds at Shibuya, the bullet train blurring past Mount Fuji. I get it. I had the same picture. Then I actually went, and I found a ramen shop where you eat completely alone, hidden behind a wooden wall, in total silence, with the best bowl of food you will ever taste in your life. I found a beach in Okinawa so impossibly blue, I thought my eyes were broken. I slept inside a temple on a sacred mountain and cried, genuinely cried, during sunrise meditation. And I'm not even a spiritual person. This is Globe 10, 10 experiences most tourists never find. And we're starting with Japan. Let's go. 1. Fushimi Inari Shrine at Kyoto, Japan. But at 4 a.m., every travel blog tells you to go to Fushimi Inari. 0 of them tell you when. I showed up at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday. The last tourist bus had left hours ago, and I walked alone, completely alone, through 10,000 torii gates, disappearing into a foggy mountain forest. No selfie sticks, no tour groups, just the sound of my own footsteps and the smell of pine and incense in the cold air. There's a moment about halfway up where the gates get older and slightly crooked, and the city lights below you disappear, and you feel like you've walked into a different century. I stood there for 20 minutes. I didn't want to leave. Set your alarm. It is worth it. 2. Zamami Island at Okinawa, Japan. Japan's secret Maldives. Japan has 6,800 islands. Almost nobody talks about this. Zamami Island in Okinawa, 2 hours by ferry from Naha, has beaches that will make you question reality. The water is this impossible shade of turquoise, so clear you can see the coral formations 30 meters below your feet. There are sea turtles, actual wild sea turtles, swimming alongside you like it's completely normal. The whole island has about 600 residents. There's one main road. In the evening, local fishermen bring fresh catch to the shore and you can buy it right there. Still moving. And someone will cook it for you 20 minutes later. While everyone else is standing in line at Team Lab in Tokyo, you could be here. I'm just saying. 3 Ichiran Ramen at Tokyo, Japan. The solo dining revolution. There's a ramen chain in Japan called Ichira. And I know what you're thinking. A chain? Really? But here's what makes Ichiran different from anything you've ever experienced. You walk in, order from a vending machine, sit down in an individual wooden booth separated by curtains, and for the next 20 minutes, there is no waiter, no conversation, no noise. Just you, your bowl, and complete focused silence. The broth has been refined for decades. You fill in a little form for exactly how spicy, how rich, how firm you want your noodles. A pair of hands slides your bowl under a bamboo curtain. That's it. No eye contact required. For introverts, it's paradise. For everyone else, it's the most weirdly peaceful meal of your life. I've eaten at Michelin restaurants that didn't feel this intentional. 4 Shirakawa-go at Toyoma, Japan. The village time forgot. 3 hours from Tokyo by train in the Japanese Alps, there's a village called Shirakawa-go, and the residents there made a decision that most people in the modern world are completely incapable of making. They voted to ban power lines from being visible on their streets. They chose their history over convenience. The result is a UNESCO World Heritage Village of thatched roof farmhouses called Gasho Zukuri, meaning hands in prayer, that look identical to how they looked 300 years ago. Elderly women still weave silk by hand inside these buildings. In winter, the whole valley fills with snow, and the farmhouses glow from within. And it looks like a Studio Ghibli film come to life. I walked through Shirakawa-go feeling like a trespasser in someone else's past. That feeling never left. 5. Sleeping inside a Buddhist temple on Mount Koya. I'm going to say something that sounds dramatic, and I need you to trust me. Mount Koya will change you. Koyasan is a sacred mountain in Wakayama Prefecture with 117 Buddhist temples. You can stay inside one, it's called Shukubo, for about $100 a night. That includes sleeping on a futon on tatami floors, a full multi-course vegetarian dinner prepared by the monks, and early morning meditation in a prayer hall that is over 1,000 years old. They wake you before sunrise. You walk with the monks through the Okinawa cemetery. 200,000 stone grave markers disappearing into ancient cedar forest, while mist rises between the trees and incense from 1,000 tiny lamps drifts through the cold mountain air. Whatever you carried up that mountain, stress, noise, the weight of your regular life, I promise you will not carry it back down. 6. The tea ceremony nobody talks about at Kanizawa, Japan. Everyone goes to Kyoto for the tourist tea ceremony, the one with the English pamphlet and the 45-minute slot and the gift shop at the end. That's fine, but that is not what I'm talking about. In Kanazawa, a city on Japan's western coast that somehow escaped World War II bombings and kept its entire historical district intact, you can book a private tea ceremony with a master who has been practicing for over 40 years inside a wooden tea house that dates to the 1700s. No pamphlets, no English, just her, you, and the sound of water heating in a cast iron kettle. The way she lifts the ceramic bowl, the way she folds the cloth, the way she whisks the matcha. It's not just tea preparation. It's 400 years of philosophy, compressed into 30 minutes, played out in slow motion in front of you. You will never rush a cup of tea again. 7. Yoshino. The Sakura Mountain locals keep secret. You've seen the Tokyo Sakura photos. Pink trees, crowds of people, someone's elbow in the frame. That's cherry blossom season in the famous spots. Now, let me tell you about Yoshino. Yoshino is a mountain in Nara Prefecture covered in 30,000 cherry blossom trees, planted by Buddhist monks over 1,300 years ago as offerings to the gods. When they bloom, you stand in the clouds. You look out and the entire mountain is pink as far as you can see, layer after layer of blossoms cascading down the valleys in waves. There's a word in Japanese, hanami, which means flower viewing. In Yoshino, you understand why they made it a ritual. It blooms about 2 weeks after the famous Tokyo spots, which means when everyone else is already home and posting their photos, you're just arriving at the real thing. The 8. A private onsen ryokan. With Mount Fuji in the window, I need you to picture this. You are sitting in a wooden tub of natural hot spring water, steam curling around you in the cool mountain air. It is early morning. The valley below is filled with cloud, and directly in front of you, framed by your Roken window like a painting, is Mount Fuji, perfect and enormous and pink in the first light of dawn. This is Hakone. And this specific experience, a private onsen in a traditional ryokan with a Fuji view, is available to anyone willing to book 2 to 3 months in advance. The ryokan itself is an experience. Tatami floors, a yukata robe waiting on your futon, a 10-course kaiseki dinner served course by course in your room by your own host. No lobby, no hotel bar, no noise. Just total structured stillness. Japan teaches you that rest is also an art form. Hakone is where you learn it. 9. Iya Valley, Japan's hidden Grand Canyon. Most tourists never make it to Shikoku, the smallest of Japan's 4 main islands, which means most tourists never find Iya Valley. Iya is a deep mountain gorge in Tokushima Prefecture. Ancient vine bridges hanging 45 meters above a turquoise river, mist-covered mountain peaks, and farmhouses clinging to slopes so steep you genuinely don't understand how people live there. Because of this inaccessibility, it was historically a refuge for defeated samurai clans. They literally ran from the rest of Japan and found paradise. The vine bridges, Kazurabashi, are rebuilt every 3 years from mountain vines, exactly as they were 800 years ago. You can walk across one. It sways. It creaks. The gaps between the vines are wide enough to see the river far below. I don't recommend it if you're scared of heights. I do recommend it if you want a story you'll tell for the rest of your life. 10 Nebuta Festival. The most spectacular night in Japan. I've saved the most overwhelming experience for last. And I mean overwhelming in the best way possible. Every August in Aomori City in northern Japan, the Nebuta Matsuri Festival takes over the streets for 6 nights. And I need you to understand the scale of what I'm describing. Enormous illuminated floats, some as tall as 5-story buildings, depicting warriors, demons, and mythological creatures, parade through the city streets at night. They glow from within. They move. The light pulses. 20,000 festival dancers in traditional costumes surround them, leaping and chanting. The sound of taiko drums hits you in the chest from 3 blocks away. 3 million people attend over 6 nights. I was one of them. And when the first float rounded the corner at night, 20 feet tall, lit from within, a warrior's face staring down at me, I genuinely couldn't speak. Some things you just have to see in person. This is one of them. Japan is a country that treats everything, food, hospitality, nature, time, ceremony, as something worth doing properly. Worth doing beautifully. And if you let it, it'll make you look at your own life and ask, what am I rushing past? You don't need to see all of Japan. You just need to stop at the right places. Subscribe if you want to see the world unpopular places.